Inside Out 2, let's talk about it. Just saw the movie. Didn't really want to go because it just felt like one of those unnecessary sequel cash grabs. But I gotta say, I walked away feeling emotions. I'm a very nostalgic person. So it got me thinking about my childhood, and my teenage years were very turbulent, lots of emotions, yada yada yada. Like a lot of teenagers do. I have issue expressing myself, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of can't handle rejection, a lot of that. Only have I started to embrace myself in like the last maybe 3 years, not even that much, and I just turned 29, but yada yada yada. So I would give it, I'm feeling a 7. Good story, amazing CGI. It's almost too real, too much detail. I just kept staring at Sadness's hair for the longest time because you could see every strand. These 3D movies are getting too real. Okay, Pixar, it did its best with its limits, so it had a very childish charm and left a lot of details up to your imagination. But now, because they can render in high detail, it's a real shiny. It feels like I'm playing a PS5 game or something. These CG movies, but they did the best they could with the material. It felt a little rushed how fast Riley's friends turned on her. I mean, she was being what's it called? A jerk. I'll be safe about how I say things. She was being a jerk to her friends because she was trying to fit in. Okay, many of us done that. I've certainly done that maybe once or twice. Her friends knew they were going to different places, so the fact that she chose, what she thought was the smart way to survive, it's not all that crazy. If you know you're going to leave your friend, if your friend's leaving you, naturally they want to move on, Maybe I'm just a terribly selfish person. It just felt a little rushed, but it is an educational children's movie. I thought they were going to age it up a little bit because this is about people. The story's about someone in their early teenage times, so I thought that's what it was for. So I thought the movie would be a little more grown up, but the kids in there were kind of, I think for kids, movies who grow up in the internet, like, it's hard to sit through. Like, this kid beside me, it was all families. This kid beside me was like bored. He was like picking his nose. I guess what I'm trying to say is it didn't have enough fun. Half of the movie was pretty heavy, which is fine. That's how they approach to getting mature things and getting real. But there's a lot of goofy stuff you could handle with teenage emotions. There's a lot of Turning Red. There was a lot of goofy stuff about reaching adulthood, heading into your teenage years. Keeping it light, There's nothing wrong with taking things seriously. That's a part of growing up, but there's nothing really wrong with the way they planned and scripted everything. It just felt a little, but slightly under-delivered. Can't really pinpoint outside of them rushing to the what, third act, sad point. The movie was quite short, so it's actually quite easy to sit through. The whole thing was like less than an hour and a half. It's surprisingly short. So that's good. That's for kids. Like, they can't sit through more than they have to. So that's good. It's just pretty cookie cutter, and again, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it does feel a little bit. I remember liking the first one a lot more, and that's what happens with sequels. It felt also a little bit. They introduced a whole bunch of new characters. I thought, what goes on inside her head doesn't take up half the story. Maybe it always did. Maybe the first movie it did, but this movie it felt like 75% was in her head. There's just like instead of 6 characters, which is fairly manageable, now there's 12. How they managed to juggle the characters is through removing half of the emotion completely for a while the other half starts to mess things up. I can see how they approached it, but it was still, even at the beginning of the movie, once the characters were introduced, all the characters, or their old characters were reintroduced and new characters introduced. It felt like, oh, okay, guys, there's a lot here. All of them are pretty important. There's like 12 emotions to deal with now. Like, we're starting to get to the point that there's just too many cooks, literally, and you're not really going to have a chance to delve into anybody too deeply. They still made Joy in this movie they made Joy and Anxiety main characters, and Riley's the kind of the ship they're flying. I felt a lot of it was in there in the head, and what Riley's experiencing in real life kind of took his backseat. It kind of became Joy's story, which it feels like it shouldn't be. It should be the person. Managing their emotions, or handling it, or making the decision. You could say, oh, these emotions are a part of her. They are her. Yeah, sure, but still. I just thought of another nitpick. In the beginning of the movie, they introduced emotions from the first movie, good old emotions we all know and love. Very, very, very plainly. This is sadness. She does this. This is anger. He does that. I felt like, and maybe this is rose-colored glasses, I felt like the first movie wasn't so pushy about introducing the core characters. They're very obvious who they are. Joy is happy. Anger is red and angry. Sadness is blue and cries immediately. They're pretty simple. You don't gotta like force feed who these characters are. Like, you design them so well, you don't need to do that. So yeah, at the end of the day, I still felt like a 7 is good. I did think about my parents, because I'm frankly, I moved out of home desperately, and I moved back, to take care of a grandparent. So now I'm thinking of moving out again. The whole separation, and I'm very much mommy's daddy's boy. I'm very much a stunted adult. So for me, it's very hard to leave my parents. I can see them, they're fine. They're in their 50s, they're fine. But I can see them growing older, and it's hard for me to accept. I gotta get moving, man. Can't just try to be a good son. Gotta be a complete adult, which is what I've been trying to process. And now I processed it again. Inside Out 2, decent decent execution. Nothing to phone home about. Don't be surprised. I don't know why my air conditioner is on. Don't be... It's not supposed to be on. I don't know why it's on. Don't be surprised. You won't be surprised if you're a snob like me. The CG, the 3D, the physics, everything made sense. There's no wonky CG. A perfectly decent child's movie. If you don't want to spend the $10 I did in Canadian dollars on a Tuesday, watch the first one. You'll probably enjoy it more. If you're bored on a Tuesday like me, go watch the second one. Don't pay more than you have to. Don't see it. I wouldn't pay regular price for it. But then again, I wouldn't pay regular price for anything anymore, because that's another story. Grandpa's getting hangry again. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. It was longer than I thought it would be, but I feel good about it. We'll see if I post it.